listening to It's All Good, Magic, Mysticism, and Earth Medicine. Check us out by visiting www.magicandmedicine.blogspot.com. I'm your host, Dr. Candace Nadine Green.
Hello, everyone, and happy solstice. It is that time again. It is so great. That wonderful time of the year where everything is growing, has grown, and you can harvest. For me in gardening, it's a fantastic time. I mean, the weather and I don't get along in regards up here in New England. The humidity is not my friend, but I work my schedule, go out early in the morning and either garden or walk and go for a walk. Then I stay indoors during the very, very humid times of the day. And then in the evening, I come back out. That's the way it is. And especially COVID time, I'm spending a lot of time here homesteading anyway, and it's fine. I have no complaints. And I do have to say I'm very grateful to Mother Earth and all the nature spirits for making the garden so abundant this year. I actually have crops and it's really nice. So today we're going to talk a little bit about crossroads and forks in the road. And I'm going to be using a lot of information from this book by Stephanie Rose Bird, and it's called 365 Days of Hoodoo, Daily Rootwork, Mojo and Conjuration. It's a really, really good book. And again, please check us out on magicandmedicine.blogspot.com. Check out our Facebook page. Check out our store on Etsy, Magic and Medicine, all one word, Magick, and medicine on Etsy. And you'll see all the nice things that handmade things that I make myself and a couple of other people. I use vendors who make things handmade as well. So check it out. The links will be in the show notes, as well as the links to today's book. So, in hoodoo, there are a few highly revered and special places, like graveyards, crossroads, and forks in the road. But today we're only going to talk about two of these. We're going to talk about crossroads and forks in the roads. What's a crossroad? Crossroad is it's vital to hoodoo, the practice of hoodoo. It's an important metaphysical pathway. It's very significant in that at the crossroads, you can gather, collect, or obtain crossroad dirt. And it's also called crossroad dust. It's very sacred, collecting the dirt at the crossroads. Now, crossroads, according to Stephanie Rose Bird in her book, 365 Days of Hoodoo, crossroads is a convergence of the four directions. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be a street or path, okay, but it's four directions that are really not directions. I know that doesn't make sense, but they're four different positions. And they're places that are overflowing with so many possibilities. And they are like nowhere in a sense, yet they are everywhere. Right? Again, it doesn't have to be a path. It doesn't have to be a street. And they absorb all four different paths. Or if you want to say directions, even though they're really not directions, you can say that as well. And at the crossroads, it's a place of very extreme power. You can collect highly magical soil. In fact, there is, oh goodness, I was reading something last night in regards to a spell. Let's see if I can find it. A spell that you could, at the crossroads, it says you collect the dirt from each path, or we'll just use directions so I don't confuse you, because we can relate to direction, even though it's really not a place. It's everywhere and then it's nowhere. But if you collect soil, I think it's to banish. It's to banish. I'm looking for it actually. I think it's to banish negativity or something of that sort. And correct me. Someone please send in a comment or something if I'm doing this, if I got the wrong thing. But I can't find it at this moment in my book that I was reading last night. But it went like this. So you'd collect a little bit of soil from each position, and then you put it in your shoe, and you walk away. And that's supposed to, I think it's supposed to banish negativity or someone who has ill will out for you, something of that sort. But I really be interested if someone can help me correct that. I'll probably find it later after the show is over. But that's an example of collecting soil at a crossroad. So because the soil at Crossroads is highly magical, it's known as a place to form agreements, to make oaths, and to set pacts, and to barter. In Haiti, Papa Legba, also known as Elegua in Cuba and Exu in Brazil, is the most prominent of the crossroad beings, spiritual beings. He owns the crossroads. He can open and close roads, and he can remove obstacles. He can put a stop to evil work before it even reaches you. He can turn it right around back to from where it came. And Papa Legba loves justice and truth. And he is it's very hard for mortals to confuse him. But sometimes he does play tricks on us. He is a mediator between the spirit world and the humans, and the human world, physical world. And he's often called upon at the crossroads. In fact, we can call upon him at the crossroads. He can help improve musical ability, art, sculpture, ironworks, and skills needed in games. We can gain assistance with the right and sufficient consideration, the tributes and offerings, and a careful approach. So we can't just go there and ask. We have to barter or have some kind of offering and make an agreement before we can call upon Papa Legba for help. Now, in other communities, which I definitely don't agree with some of this. Okay, some of it I do, and some of it I don't. But in other communities, not just African communities or the Hoodoo communities, Crossroads was said to be a place haunted by demonic and negative forces. And I don't agree with that. I don't see the Crossroads as negative. They say on the Sabbath it's a gathering place for witches. Also, some people who say fairies who like to fool travelers were said to haunt the crossroads. Ghosts would appear at certain times, like All Hallows Eve, and frighten people. Restless ghosts and vampires could be prevented from walking among the living by burying their corpse at the crossroads. So if someone wanted to prevent someone from coming back and haunting them, they would bury their body at a crossroads. That's why some graveyards are at crossroads. If you ever notice, look at some graveyards and they're at crossroads. Look at their location. I know of one in particular in the city here in my state that's at the crossroads, and that's supposed to prevent the spirits of the deceased from coming back, haunting people, or being restless. According to folklore tradition, crossroads are unhallowed ground where suicide and murder victims, criminals, and the unbaptized were buried. So in folklore tradition, that's where those types of people were buried. They were buried at the crossroads, and also to keep them from coming back as well. But I reject the negative aspect of it. I reject the part about the demonic and negative forces, because to me it puts a dark twist on the crossroads. And I prefer to see it as the way my African ancestors have seen it. And also, I really don't believe in the devil. I mean, I know there are lower vibrational entities out there, and people sometimes can get mixed up with them when they're looking for selfish gains, money, power over people, and looking to hurt people. Those are called lower vibrational entities. I don't see them as evil. They're just on a lower, I mean, yeah, the word that we use for them is evil, but they are lower vibrational. If they were higher vibrational, they wouldn't be doing those types of things. And I think that the devil, Satan, is a Christian creation, and it is not part of my traditional cultural or ancestral belief or practice. I know there's some hoodoo religions. Some people in hoodoo incorporate Christianity, saints, and things into their practice, but I do not. I incorporate saints in there, but some, like Archangel Michael, but I don't deal with or acknowledge Satan. Now, onto the forks in the road. The forks in the roads are where two directions merge into one, right? Hence, there's a fork. Stephanie Bird refers to forks in the road as highly potent, mysterious, spiritual, and metaphysical places. They're places of choices and making decisions. And at the forks in the road, you can gain wisdom, insight, and the ability to forge change. Where two roads cross at or about right angles, you will find a cross in the road. So that is my idea. That's a little bit about forks in the roads and crossroads in regards to hoodoo. Now, it is a new month, and I know we started this month late. I usually get out the podcast beforehand, but let me tell you, the end of the school year and distance learning and virtual graduations and all that stuff with my kids and everything, it's been crazy. So I was not able to do this show. So I'm going to read to you from Stephanie Rose Bird's book, 365 Days of Hoodoo, for our Magic of the Month. So Magic of the Month at the forks in the road. Some magic you can do if you come to a forks in the roads. So at a fork in the road, you typically have a couple of choices about which direction to travel, each heading in an opposite direction. Forks present a conundrum, and they can be puzzling when you are unsure of yourself, because you have to make a choice and you don't really know which direction to choose. You only have two in that regards. Luckily, just as with their more complex counterparts, the crossroads, which gives you four choices, there are supernatural helpers residing at the forks. There's supernatural helpers at the crossroads as well. A fork in the road is a beautiful place. It asks you to challenge the status quo and be very clear with how you move through the world. Sometimes you may catch yourself moving robotically out of habit. You will do something a certain way because that is how you've come to think it should be done. And that has an effect on our choices, by the way. Okay, so to continue, in Hoodoo, there is a lot of thought about how one travels through the world. This is brought deeply into your consciousness during your intensive work and with foot track magic, and it continues in your current exploration of whatever you're trying to do. A fork in the road is also a mysterious and mystical place. Otherworldly energies converge there, and if approached in just the right manner, it can help you strengthen all what you do. Now I'm going to suggest to you a fork in the road meditation. Today, you are heading to the nearest fork in the road with your Hoodoo journal and a pen, as well as something comfortable to sit on if you choose. For privacy, use the cloak of darkness, and you can wear a hoodie or cape to make yourself even more difficult to distinguish from your environs. Find a comfortable place to sit near or alongside the fork. Spread out your blanket or whatever you have brought with you to sit upon. Take off your shoes if the weather permits. Fold your legs in the lotus position. Place your hands on your legs in a relaxed manner, with palms upward and open in a receptive manner. Take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In counts of 6 or 8. The longer you take between breaths, the quicker you will reach deep stage of relaxation. Close your eyes partially, but don't get so comfortable that you fall asleep. Awareness is critical. Let your eyes focus on the third eye, which reacts with and sees into the unknown. Try not to think at all. Every time a thought arises, sponge it out like words on a blackboard. Continue to simply focus on your third eye and your breathing patterns. Inhale for 6 counts and hold, then exhale for 6 counts, and so forth. After about 10 minutes, stretch your body gently and gradually open your eyes fully. Keeping yourself relaxed and unhurried, notice what new thoughts begin to fill your head. What do you see that wasn't there before? What do you hear or smell? Are you being guided to a nearby location? What is Spirit telling you? You can write down the answers to each of these questions in your journal. Jotting things down keeps your thoughts in a more permanent and useful form than the mind alone can achieve. When you have learned your lessons of the day or night, whatever the case may be, head back home with your head filled with fresh thoughts and the possibility of new directions. What are your ideas or beliefs about crossroads and forks in the roads? Do you have any special practices when it comes to meeting at the crossroads? I'd love to hear your response to this question. It'll be on the Facebook page and on the blog at magicandmedicine.blogspot.com. I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you for listening. Have a great solstice, and so blessed be.
For listening to It's All Good, Magic, Mysticism, and Earth Medicine. Visit us anytime at www.magicandmedicine.blogspot.com.